Yes, people, welcome back. It is match preview time. Let's hit that intro. Yes, people, welcome back. Welcome back. Albert JTV. Match preview time. Everton versus Arsenal. As you can see, I have two guests. But before I get to those guys, you guys know the drill by now. There you have it. So let me introduce my guys. Firstly, thank you for coming on. It was not short notice, but about an hour's notice before this live stream. But Joe, thank you for coming on once again, mate. Tell me where the guys can find you and how have you been, mate?
Yeah, really good, mate. It's nice to be back.
Good. It's good to have you back, man. It's good to have you back. And yeah, cheers. And Ryan, thank you again for coming on my channel, my regular bro. Tell the Gooners where they can find you on your channel and also how you been, mate.
I've been all right, thanks. Hope you both are doing all right. And
good,
Twitter handle at RJ Wills and my YouTube channel Ryan Williams AFC. So hit me up, guys.
Brilliant. So yeah, how we're gonna start this? So yeah, preview time, man. I'll say big game tomorrow, but Arsenal's games in the last 2 months have been everyone's been big. The league games, every game's been big, but not an enjoyable time to be an Arsenal fan. Very challenging time to be an Arsenal fan, actually, in my lifetime as a Gooner. First, I haven't spoken to you guys about our last game against Southampton, which I want to touch on with you quickly. I wanted to get your thoughts. I'm going to start with Ryan. What you made of the team lineup, and again, ill discipline in the team with another red card. But what did you make of the performance as well, mate?
To be fair, I'll start with the lineup. The lineup. Well, what else could you really do? I mean, I was a little bit disappointed with what was on the bench.
Yeah.
In terms of no Balogun again. We didn't see Emerald Smith Rowe. I felt some of the youngsters could have made the bench as we ain't played Europa League's done until February now.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit disappointed with that, but not surprised. The starting lineup, I was a little bit confused. I thought we was going to go over 4-4-2, to be fair.
Yeah.
When I saw the shape, I was like, oh, so you're going back to that. Kind of makes sense because of Southampton's form. So I was kind of hoping Ainsley would be in the middle, personally. I was kind of hoping I'd see Cedric as the right back, personally, also. But overall, the game, pretty much more of the same. I thought Southampton were just doing what Southampton does. I was disappointed with the goal. I felt Leno could have done a lot better, personally. I thought he should have made it. I felt he could have made himself look a little bit bigger in that situation. I felt he kind of helped Walcott with that. And obviously Saka and Tierney are to blame also for that, because the way Walcott just got past everyone was just what we kind of wanted Walcott to do back in the day, funnily enough, on a regular occasion. The second half, quickly, I felt we did come out a little bit better. I was very impressed with Bukayo Saka's work rate to even creating that chance for Aubameyang to score, even though Eddie Nketiah got the assist. But for me, Saka gets more of the praise. Was disappointed in Gabriel. Obviously, another red card. It was a silly mistake for him to do. I mean, you're on a yellow. You need to be careful. But I'll forgive him for that because he's been our best defender, and he don't go out kicking and screaming and bitching and moaning. And he actually apologizes, unlike some people. But that's another story for another day. But yeah, we did well to hold that. We did okay to, hold it down. And Southampton did put a lot of pressure on us when we were 10 men down. And to be honest, what could we do? And I was actually surprised Mikel Arteta actually kind of did the right substitutions in terms of not trying to go for it, but actually just holding it at the back and just saying, listen, we'll just take the point. It's too risky. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, you know what, I stand on the manager. But yeah, I'm gonna say that.
Right, cool. It's interesting. I think you're the first person I've kind of heard or spoken to in regards to the Southampton goal. Like that might lay a bit of fault at Leno. So that's interesting. But I might touch on that a bit more, but probably move on. But I want to get Joe. I want to hear your thoughts. Before I ask you, Joe, obviously, I know he's on the live stream with Mr. Arsenal podcast. Big shout out to Ryan. And I actually messaged you guys in the chat saying that if Walcott scores, I'm going to quit YouTube. I know.
Everyone to see, mate.
It was typical. It was typical that it would happen, man. But yeah, Joe, what did you make of the team lineup, mate, and the performance in general?
Agreeing with Ryan, really, in the fact that when you look at the bench, there was no one that could sort of come on that was going to be sort of inspiring as such. There wasn't going to be anyone sort of coming on where you could say, right, that's a guy that can change a game if we need him to.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of lacked that bit of, there was no sort of threat of anyone to come off the bench as such. If you had that sort of Balogun, he's been, I don't know what else he's really got to do to get on the bench, let alone get a game, to be honest. You've brought him on in 2 games and he scored 2 goals. I think it's time to give the kid a run, really, to be honest. Same with Emile Smith-Rowe. We're after someone that, creates, and he creates. So we've got players in those places, but I don't know what they've really got to do to get past the Europa League game to get some Premiership action, really. Because, when you look at the Europa League, we say about, we basically say, that the teams that they play aren't that great, but they're getting results.
Yeah.
You've got to use some of those young lads, I think. So as for the goal, it was us to blame, really, for the goal. But I thought Theo took it really well, to be honest.
He did.
He took it almost like Aubameyang would have done. It was that sort of slight chip over the keeper into the net. So hats off to him. But yeah, as Ryan was saying, it would be nice if he had done it for us, really.
It's funny because I saw a lot of comments, people saying Walcott never finished like that for us. From what I remember, he actually did finish some goals like that for us, to be fair to him.
I remember one goal. I can't remember what team it was against, where he was pretty much down in the left-hand corner, dribbled his way into the box and chipped it into the net.
Yeah.
Oh, Newcastle.
Yeah.
And you kind of think that was a fantastic goal.
Yeah.
Just consistency with Walcott. That was the only problem with him when he was up.
But yeah, glimmers of brilliant. So,
yeah,
it's one of those things. One of those.
No, it's true. Coaching. I mean, yeah, go on. Yeah, sorry, Ray. Go on, Ryan.
Sorry, quickly.
You're right.
Quickly say this. I just think with Walcott, with Iwobi, with certain players, you kind of look at it like around the time you could kind of see the decline of Arsenal. I think a lot of us kind of knew it back then, but didn't want to say it quite loudly until like maybe a 2 season later. Wenger, we knew he was kind of finished in terms of coaching and getting the best out of certain players. Especially the youngsters like Walcott or Iwobi, and the list goes on. Do you know what I'm saying? And I felt like with Walcott, he needed coaching because all he could do was run. He had a finish on him, cool, but it wasn't consistent, and there were certain touches, X, Y, and Z, like he needed to improve on. So I just felt like, and the Iwobi will get better over time as well. There's certain other players, you know what I mean? And this is probably why Reece Nelson is probably like where he's at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's always going to go on loan because he's never really had that fine tuning. And even now we're trusting him with Arteta, and we don't really know what's going to happen with him after that. So he might get sold, he might go alone again. But
it's almost like they need a fresh challenge. You think Walcott was at the club for such a long time, and Iwobi as well, and they needed that that go somewhere else and prove themselves again. And they've, you know, Iwobi, you can never knock the guy. He always gave 100%.
Yeah.
Always, even if he made an error, he'd try his best to make it up. So, but yeah, I think we were lucky, and we should be grateful for the 1 point, really, after the way it was in the end. You know, you never want to go into a game and come out with a point, but you know, that's the way it is at the moment. You take a point instead of not taking anything at all after the run we've had. So
let me just take on Russ's comment there. I'd be very surprised with some people if they've got back on board with that draw. I think when I did my match review, I put the title "Something Better Than Nothing," and I do believe that, but I'm not detracting from the way that us getting the points a good thing, because the run of games that we've got, and people were sort of scrutinizing the fixtures and thinking, where's the 3 points going to come from? And we only got a point, obviously, against Southampton. We lose to Burnley. When I saw the team lineup, before I come into that, guys, thank you for coming into the live stream. Smash the like button straight away, subscribe to the channel, and follow my esteemed guests on their social media when it comes up on the screen. Be patient with me. I'll get through your comments as well. Yeah, you know what it is. When I saw the team lineup on the other day, I actually looked at the subs bench straight away to see who could come on and actually make a difference and make a change. And all we saw basically was the experienced players that have let us down in the first 11 with some of them on the bench. I don't see what Cedric has to do to get in at right back. I actually would have started him at right back. I would have put Ainsley in midfield. There's two midfield players that started against Southampton. I thought should have started in the Burnley game, but having seen what I saw some people put on Twitter and, you know, on their channels, and I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on saying that Sabas played well. I must have been watching a different game. I don't think any Arsenal players particularly really came out of any credit in that game, other than the likes of Saka as usual, being a bit brave, taking the ball by the horns, taking players on, doing something different, and we get the goal. Yes, Eddie got the layout for Aubameyang, but I look at this team and Southampton, for me, they look comfortable, they look confident. I don't think they had to play fantastically well. I even had to tweet one of the guys at halftime to say, "Are we the home team?" Because what I'm seeing, you know, at one stage, I think Southampton had more than double the passes we had in the match. More than double within the first half an hour.
It was shocking.
I mean, as for the goal, as for the goal, Gabriel's tried to be touch tight and get in on Che Adams. He's not a big guy in terms of height, Che Adams, but he's physical. He's, you know, and you know, their goal came from Vestergaard had the ball in their own half. Plays a simple ball, and then he tries to intercept it. You can fault, you know, Tierney and Saka, which you can do, no problem with that. But even I said it at the time on my match review with Walcott, right? Even before he got the ball, he made an initial move to get on the half turn and be ready to go. He's already on the move, he's already thinking. And then when he gets the ball on the half turn, that's what I want to see from my front line, my strikers on the front foot, movement. You've heard me say it before. Our front three, whoever it is, combination wise, they're lazy. They don't move. There's no interchange. So yeah, we got the point. I mean, in commentary, when I heard they said that Southampton hadn't won at the Emirates since 1987, I was thinking, oh my God, not another record. You got to be kidding me, yeah. So yeah, guys, that's what I kind of made of that, man. But we move on. I want to ask you guys about oh man.
Sorry, that comment from James.
I'm gonna get to him. I'm gonna get to him.
Oh my God.
Comments are fine. Thanks for the comment, guys, man. What was I gonna say? Yeah, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on a mixture of things. Obviously, I wasn't particularly happy with Arteta's staunch, defiant defense of Granit Xhaka before the game. That's the first thing. and I've got to bear in mind these are rumors. This is speculation, obviously, which comes with Arsenal and it feeds in the negativity and blah blah blah. But talk about Willian and David Luiz wanting Arteta sacked. There's talk about the players being very very unhappy in terms of when Willian had an unauthorized visit to Dubai, and then starts in the team when he comes back. There's also the talk about David Luiz being the one not speaking to Arteta whatsoever. Bear in mind these are rumors, guys, but what do you make of these things that are adding to the derailment of Arsenal Football Club, starting with Joel?
The thing is, you get all sorts of stuff come out, don't you? When you're on that negative road anyway,
yeah,
you stuff always seems to come out of somewhere. I'm probably with you on that one, right? Yeah, it's...
Go on, mate. Go on.
I don't know.
Regular viewer, it's called DWTT in the chat. What on, mate?
Oh, I think he was on the other day. It's all down to this.
James is my guy, man. I love James. Enough love for James. Big supporter of the show. Go on, Joel. Go on.
Mate, they're piling in. To be fair, it's negativity just seems to pile in all at the same time, doesn't it? When you're down on your luck anyway, other stuff just seems to flood out of everywhere. Whether we're really going to know the truth of what's going on behind the scenes, as 100%. We found out with Edu the other day, wasn't it?
Oh, I'm going to touch on that. Go on.
To be fair, he didn't really have to come out and say anything. It's just a funny old time, really. Whether Willian and Louise, I don't know.
Yeah. Now, Joe, you make a good point about Edu. I'm going to come back to you on that, but I'm going to get Ryan's thoughts on what I just mentioned about, Willian and Louise, about Arteta, and players are happy about Willian and Dubai.
The whole Xhaka things, I think that's a bit of a joke, to be honest. When you look at, what Xhaka did in the past, didn't apologise, and then, it all started with sort of Pepe, didn't it?
Yeah.
Pepe with not the most violent headbutt, I have to say, in the history of football.
Yeah.
He seemed to get it full, all barrels, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then for him to sort of not say anything with Xhaka, I think maybe it was a heat at the moment thing with Pepe, and and Arteta lost his head. But at the same time, you've got to treat every player the same. And you can't do that. You can't do it. So that's what I think anyway.
No, Joe, it's a good point. I'm glad you brought. I'm going to touch on Edu a little bit more. Ryan, what's your thoughts, mate, about the things that Joel has mentioned?
I'll start this in sections. So I'll start with the Louise and Willian thing. I don't really know what to make about it, to be honest, because remember there was rumors about them two, or Willian mainly, being the reason why Conte got sacked at Chelsea.
Yes, I did hear that. I
mean, I don't know, man. And on top of it, I was peed off about Willian going to Dubai and then coming back into the first team squad. Because if you remember, Albert, I said to you, it wouldn't surprise me if he does come back into the first team squad, because that's his boy. And Pepe was just getting thrown under the bus because of Pepe's comments or certain things that Pepe's not doing, which I feel like I said, when Pepe got sent off for the stupidity of that, even a tap or a headbutt, whatever you want to call it, a wrestling move, forget. Arteta, I felt with Arteta, he felt justified then, because remember, he weren't really playing Pepe, right?
No.
And then Pepe come out and made his comments like he did at the international break. Then he came with the Leeds game, and then Pepe got sent off. And Arteta just threw him under the bus, because that's what Arteta did. And then when it came to Xhaka, his boy, the one that he decided to save from checking out of Arsenal Football Club, because we all wanted it. Even some of the Xhaka fans, they kind of just had enough. They just said, "Oh, give him one more chance." He gave him one more chance, and he embarrassed him. He embarrassed Mikel Arteta by doing that again. The same what Xhaka does, Xhaka things. Let's just call it Xhaka things. Hashtag that. So You know, no, real life, you have to hashtag that because that's what Xhaka does. He always does. He was doing it in Germany, he's done it here. What's changed? Nothing.
And
Also,
and Switzerland.
That's the joke of it. He's done it time and time again.
Time and time again. And like no one learns. And I'm sure Arteta must have saw that when he was sitting next to Pep putting out cones. I don't care, bro. Like you have to take note of that. Remember, this club was gonna sign you. And also to what was the point again? Like I can't remember what I was gonna say now. It was pretty damning.
Was it about Louise or Arteta?
Louise not talking to Arteta. That's a bit weird because even when he came on the pitch, Arteta used to be giving people instructions. I didn't see neither of them near each other. It looked like they was socially distancing each other from when he come on the pitch the other day, innit? So there might be something into that. There just might be. But I think it's due to the fact that he let Louise continue with the whole concussion thing. Because if I was Louise, I'd be pissed at Arteta for that. Because how you sending me on if I just had a mad collision and I'm in shock? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll play the rest of the half. What? What do you mean? My head bloody. No, sorry. That's just, I don't know. But that's pretty much all I've got to say about that, man. I think Arteta is just making it harder for himself and he can't win me back over. I'm sorry. I've said this weeks ago, man. He's got to go in it. It's just poor mismanagement. And the rest of the team.
James, what comment do you make? Sorry, mate. Go on. Sorry, Ryan, mate.
No, I was just saying earlier. I can understand why the rest of the team are pissed off with him. Like, you clearly have your favourites. Do you know what I mean? I've said this time and time again. His choices are ruining his chances to even have fans on his side, anyways. So I don't know. And yeah, when we get to Edu, I'm gonna let it rip. Trust me. But yeah, that's all I said.
Yeah, I'm gonna come back to Joe on that. Yeah, Edu, like, I'm not gonna read out his comments because you know what he said, but he basically said Arteta's doing a good job. He mentioned he referenced into Willian about he needs time to settle, which I couldn't believe he turned and said that. The guy's been playing in England for 7 years.
I
just thought he was incredibly patronising to the Arsenal fan base. What is like we don't know what we're seeing or what we're talking about, you know, or talking about them making the reference about Messi. I thought, is this guy serious? You was an ex-player at the club. You sat in them stands when the picture cut to him on the other night against Southampton. Even you as a midfield player couldn't believe what you were seeing. So how can you turn around and say that, man? Like, yeah, Joe, what did you make of them comments from Edu, man? Like, this guy's not serious.
I think it's an absolute joke, to be honest, with Willian. If he ain't settled after 7 years, then there ain't any chance of settling. And let's be honest, it's not like he's gone into a team where he doesn't know any other players. He's gone in, he knows David Luiz. You know, Edu he knows anyway. There's plenty of players in there he's known over the years.
Yeah.
And you think it's just a bit of a joke, really. You know,
it is unbelievable, to be fair.
You know, don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, if they're saying they're going to back him, and I was saying this the other day, if you say you're going to back him, and then you're sat in the stands, but why are you actually sat there? Are you sat there because you're there to support the team, or are you sat there thinking, right, if this goes wrong, I've got to eat my words. I've got to say something else after this, because if we lost to Southampton, everyone would have been calling for it straight away. And all a draw's done is basically put a tiny plaster over a massive gash, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Ryan, before I come, sorry, go on, Joel. Go on, let you finish, mate. Go on.
There's more going on than meets the eye, isn't there?
Yeah, 100%.
Going on, and it's right for the poor, isn't it?
These clubs
in other clubs, you know.
Yeah. This club's in a mess, man. Absolute mess. Right, before I come to you, James, I think I think James was the one that made the comment about starting Mari, Emma Smith Rowe, and Balogun. James, was that you? I think is that what you meant by the earlier comment? Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that, mate. You know, we have to try something, man. But the problem is, it's up to our head. It's up to our head coach.
100%.
Yeah,
it's up 100%.
Yeah. It's up to our head coach to actually show a bit more bollocks and pick these players. That's what I'd say to that. Yeah, Ryan, come in on about Edu, mate.
Just on that last comment, I think the boys took Arteta's balls away when he became the manager of the club, because, like I said, he seems to have. We've seen two Artetas. We've seen the head coach Arteta.
That's what he meant. That's what comment
Just
Jason.
call me T-Dog then. Kind out loud. No, don't really. But anyways, yeah. We've seen the head coach Arteta, and we've seen the manager Arteta, and the manager Arteta is nowhere near the head coach Arteta. This is the issue, and this is what I have. This is the problem I have. But let's get to Edu. Now, listen, I'm sorry, but his comments peed me off.
Yeah.
My man said about what did he say about William? If something about William, we don't know ball or something. I was like, what? We don't know football. We don't have William. You're
right. That's basically what it's insinuating. Yeah.
That stung me a lot because I used to like Edu when I was a kid. Do you know what I mean? And I thought to myself, what are you talking about? This guy just has to
that's the comment. That's the one.
If you don't know, that's it. There we go. Like,
unbelievable.
I don't know, man. Something's happened to my screen for some reason. What's happened there?
Embarrassing.
It is embarrassing. It is. I just feel like, oh God, it really peed me off. But him shaking his head in the stands, what's that about? I thought he was back in Arteta. Now you can't believe it. He just looked like a total melt to me, bro. So as far as I'm concerned, it's inexperienced, isn't it? This is what you get all throughout the whole club. A time where we need someone to steer the ship. We got everyone's on work experience, isn't it? Someone said that the other day. Everyone's on work experience. Edu's on work experience. We know that. Vinay's on work experience. Not many people seem to remember that. Do you know what I mean? Because he's taken over Ralph Sanelli's job, and he's just another Ed Woodward in my eyes. And then, Arteta, inexperienced as well. He should be at Derby or Roehampton or somewhere. Do you know what I mean? So look, they're not making it easier for us, and I love to see how they're going to back Arteta in January, because it's going to be very difficult with moving players out, because apparently that's what we need to do first. And bringing players in. But who wants to come in at a club that's 15th in the league? We might be 16th after we play Everton, which is going to be horrible, but that's the reality of it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you might as well send them. They might as well have Rito on their CV. That's how they got the job, right? So I just saw a comment. I think it might be.
I saw a comment. Sorry, Ron. I saw a comment before. I was going to mention it earlier. I'm glad Sentiment FC brought it up. I saw the rumors. The rumors about a week ago about Balogun. Apparently, Liverpool interested about 10 million.
Yeah, I heard about that as well. Actually,
if that happens, but
that's why he's not playing.
Mind you, Balogun.
Us big time.
Mind you, Balogun's got a year left, hasn't he? So, and I'm not sure he wants to stay.
How can he stay if Eddie and Ketty is front, right, and centre? I feel if we get rid of Lacazette, hopefully there might be a chance. If we can move Lacazette out, then maybe. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm worried because I feel maybe if we, move Reece Nelson out on loan, because he needs a loan move. I'm sorry, he does.
Ryan, sorry, Joe. Even with Reece Nelson, again, another player. He's injured again.
I know. What's going on?
Do you think he needs a loan though, or do you think he needs to leave? To be honest.
Well, they were saying before this. Sorry, Ryan. Go on, mate.
I'm in the middle of the leaving part, man, because to be honest, look, when he did his loan from Hoffenheim, he came back. I weren't expecting too much. Everyone was overhyping his loan move, this, that, and the third. I was thinking, if I'm honest, Emil Smith-Rowe did a much better on his loan move at Huddersfield than what Reece Nelson did at Hoffenheim. He had disciplinary issues over there in the first place, so I don't get all the hype. And you can see him, he's only scored a few goals, and there's games where I feel like he takes too many touches, he overthinks about it, etc. And obviously, a few runs in the team can help you develop, but where I feel he's not quite ready yet, I feel maybe a loan move in the Championship, which is what frustrates me with Arsenal. Loan the players into the Championship. it makes so much sense. Or you just
Yeah,
load them
tough
out to
league,
Premier
yeah.
League clubs. Do you know what I mean? Just lower them to guys, Crystal Palace or anything. Or, you know, Fulham, they need help already. Do you know what I mean? Like anywhere within the lower league teams of the Premier League or in a championship. But Arsenal don't do that. They always like to send them abroad and hope for the best. Oh, he's going to come back with some new skills. And they don't work out. Then what? They get injured again. So for me,
go on,
I don't know.
sorry.
It's a low move. Sorry, bro.
No, it's all right. No, with the Balogun thing, quickly, just with the Balogun thing, if it like it's up to him if whether he wants to stay at Arsenal. If he wants to leave or don't, it's up to him. It's the end of the day, you know, football's a short career. You want first team opportunity, you're not getting it. But I'll tell you something: if he does leave and he goes to Liverpool, the Arsenal fan base is going to go into complete meltdown.
Oh, mate, it'll come back to bite us as well, big time.
It always does. It always does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because the thing is, you know what it is? The thing is, I know people say about, you know, with the Willian and David Luiz thing, oh yeah, but Arteta signed them and the contract extension. It don't mean the players can't turn around and change their mind and throw you under the bus, because when they want to, they will, experience or not.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say to that. Guys, I'm going to give a big shout out to the guys in the chat. There's loads of people. You got big up Melvin, Russ, RJ Arsenal Vlog, Sentiment FC, James Vase, Rafai, Mark Green. Guys, appreciate the love, man. I'm trying to fly through these chats, boy. Bloody hell. But no, it's good interaction. But yeah, guys, we've got Everton tomorrow, 5:30 kickoff. Our record, actually, I thought our record at Goodison Park was actually pretty decent, which it is, but our actual record against Everton generally is pretty decent. Everton have only beaten us twice in 12 Premier League meetings.
There's a new record coming.
Yeah, they've won. To be fair, Everton have won two big games in the last two league games. They obviously beat Chelsea at home, clean sheet. They beat Leicester away, which is a brilliant result, irrespective whatever you think of Leicester.
I like that.
And Arsenal, Everton are fifth in the league, 23 points, 5 points off top. Arsenal were 14th in the Premier League. As you guys know, we've got our lowest points total since 1974 in a league campaign. Team news wise, Everton will be missing Allen, who's going to be a big miss for them. He's out for several weeks apparently. James Rodriguez should be fit after calf injury. Seamus Coleman is a steady fullback who believe it or not, I once wanted to Arsenal. I think he's solid. Seamus Coleman. Arsenal, as we know, team news wise, Xhaka suspended, Gabriel suspended, Thomas Partey still injured. As we know, Reece Nelson still injured. So what I want to ask you guys is, before I ask you, you obviously saw this. You probably saw the stat that Arteta's won more cup games than he's won Premier League games, and that's not a good stat. I personally think is you want to really be proud of. Not great. So I've sort of gone for a team lineup that I don't think it will happen, but I've looked at this team. I've looked at suspensions. I've looked at the fact that I don't want to see Kieran Tierney playing in the left of the free. So I'm going to break it down by part. So obviously defense. I've gone with Leno in goal, obviously. I've gone for 3 centre backs. And this, I'm not picking them because I really, really want to play these guys. Let's make that very clear, man. But Mustafi, Louise, and Rob Holding as a 3. Because I want Tierney. I don't want to see Tierney a left of a 3. I think he's wasted there. He can play there, but he's wasted there. Yeah. Play to this guy's strength. So I'd have him as left wing back, and I actually do think, as you guys would probably agree with me, that Bellerin will come back into the team. Yeah. So that's my 5 sort of defenders. Would you guys agree with that or disagree with that, guys in the chat? What do you think? I'm going to start with Ryan. What do you make of that, mate?
I'd agree within the formation. Centre back wise,
it's hard. It is hard, mate. It is hard.
I can't stand Mustafi. I'd rather give Holden not Holden, Chambers a game for like 60 minutes. Yeah. I'd rather Holden for Mustafi. And obviously we're gonna see the sun. So I'd rather Cedric personally. Cedric, Chambers gets in there for me. Holden,
Yeah.
Louise, Tierney. I agree with you 1,000,000%. I've been saying that for so long.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
wasted playing that centre back role.
Yeah.
But that's how I do it.
Big shout out, James. Cheers, mate. Yeah, I mean, you know, you're right. You guys, I've kind of gone for that, just looking at the defense, because Arteta, in some quarters, we know what he's going to do with the team, and then there's obviously some games you haven't got a clue who he's going to pick, because he just throws in a wild card in there. But yeah, I have no problem with a Chambers or Amari starting, because listen, you can't keep playing these guys, man. They're just letting us down week in, week out. It doesn't matter formations. It doesn't matter who we're playing against. But yeah, that's what I've gone with in that. But in regards to the midfield, that was really difficult for me. I was looking at it, to be honest with you, because Partey's obviously out. Xhaka suspended, but I wouldn't have started him anyway. And that leaves you basically with El Neni and Ceballos. And I put in Willock, because I just think he's the only one in the team, or the squad, should I say, who goes beyond the front three. Nobody makes them runs. Nobody's a ball carrier in there. So would you make of that three I've just mentioned, or would you go against that, you guys? Starting with Joel.
So what's that for the midfield?
Midfield three. I've gone for El Neni, Ceballos, and Willock. I've gone for.
We haven't got anyone else, have we?
It's
To be perfectly honest.
We've got options, mate. We've got options, Joel, but you know what it is? Arteta doesn't want to use them.
Well, yeah. Realistically, looking through Arteta's eyes, there's no one else, is there? Ceballos, Melvin, man.
Before Arsenal fans are thinking, thank God we're not getting him, man. But boy, we're in a relegation.
Yeah.
Sorry, Joel. Go on, mate. Sorry,
I'd rather have Melvin.
Get Melvin in charge. Go on, Melvs.
Oh, mate. Ceballos is a bit of a funny one. I'm with you, Albert, really. He seems to go... He was always the man that took the ball forward when he first started, and now he sort of runs around in circles.
Spinning top.
You know, whether it's the haircut, I don't know.
I deal with that guy.
I think that's the only three you can possibly go with, really. Joe Willock is probably the most positive going forward out of the three.
Yeah.
And he'll chase every ball for as long as he's on the pitch. El Neni, apparently, the other day, you know, he didn't make any sort of interceptions for the whole game against Southampton. And he was meant to be a defence midfielder.
Good point.
Yeah, that's a bit worrying, but I'd still trust him over Xhaka 100%.
Yeah, I would.
So
I trust anybody.
That's the three that will crop up, isn't it?
Rafa's going to shout to Big Darren Moore at West Brom, ex-West Brom. Russ took the words out of my mouth. Go on, Joel. Go on,
it'd be I wish we'd gone for Decore, to be honest.
And that's not even a need. And I know you guys, when you say that, right, I'm going to come to Ryan. Russ, I agree, mate. It's not a knee-jerk reaction, because we were saying it in the transfer window. That was like for more than 2.5 months. But after I don't get it. But yeah, Ryan, what do you make of the midfield I suggested, the midfield three? Or would you go against that? Or what would be your options, mate?
Spinning top could hit the bench, because I thought the second half he was awful. I thought first half he was quite decent in the Southampton game, but second half he was awful.
Yeah, good shout, Mel.
Come on the bench.
Yeah.
El Neni, Ainsley, and Willock. I'd probably say I want Smith Rowe, but we all know that ain't gonna happen. So yeah, Ainsley, El Neni, and Willock for me.
It is hard. It is hard as fans trying to think. You know what? When I look at Premier League games with Arsenal, I'm talking about since Arteta's been in charge. One thing I did give him credit for when he first sort of took over was the fact that he wasn't predictable in his team lineups like Wenger was to the back end of his Arsenal reign. He would just pick teams. He would think, forget tactics, forget your position. I was going to play the same way. We're going to play him off the pitch. We're going to beat him, and it was the same personnel every week. We knew who was going to play, but Arteta kind of there was always a wild card or a different pick, but now he's fallen into that trap as well. He's become predictable with some of his team selections. And yeah, it's mad, but I'll get through. Guys, thanks for the comments in the chat. Like I said, follow my guys on their social media. Mark Green, you're right, mate. Jesus Christ, Bellerin, God help us, mate. It's true. I can't disagree with that. In terms of the front three, I went for. I know who's gonna come in, but I don't want him playing. I think with the whole Nicolas Pepe, I think with the whole Nicolas Pepe thing, right? I think with the whole Nicolas Pepe situation, the thing is, Arteta's handling this wrong. For me, it's an easy one here. When he come out and made the comments just before the international break, play him week in, week out. Let him hang himself if he's not going to play well, because then he's only got himself to blame because he's been given the opportunities to play. But just play him. You know what's the worst that can happen? He doesn't play well, you hook him off. So I'll start Pepe on the right, even though I actually think, on the left. You know what? I'd be even tempted to put him on the left, Joel, because I just think, to me, and I said it on my match review, it's actually pointless playing him on the right of a three. It's completely pointless because he doesn't use his right foot, and even when he cuts in on his left, he doesn't even shoot. Yeah. So what are you doing? Like, I don't understand why. You're playing in a position to favour the fact that you're left-footed, but you're not even using your left foot. One thing I said about Nicolas Pepe I want to see at the start of the season is I want to see this guy pull the trigger more and shoot. Stop sending mans for dreams 3-4 times and doing the same pieces of skill and then getting caught out by two defenders who double up on you. Pull the trigger and shoot. I'll stick Aubameyang down the middle and Saka on the left. Joel, I'm going to come to you, mate. What do you make of that? Would you make any slight tweaks to that?
Pepe is almost like a Jovino Mark II.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus. Oh.
Yeah.
The skill's all there. You get to the byline and then you just go, and then it just boots it somewhere else. It's
what did you think of his performance the other night? Be honest.
I didn't know he was playing up to a point. To be perfectly honest, and do you know what? As you know, Albert, I stick by Pepe because I don't know why, but there's something in me that just thinks that something's going to come. Something's going to come, but then maybe it's the fact that I'd rather have him than Willian.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all it is. And I've done the same with Xhaka as well. It was almost like maybe he has turned a corner, and then all of a sudden the other day I just thought, bugger him now. I'm done with him. But I think that would be the front three. But I think Saka and Pepe can flick either side. Really, they could play either side. But I'd like to see Pepe on the left, but it won't happen.
Yeah,
and Saka on the right, and I think that could work really well.
Yeah,
Aubameyang, I think you've got to play down the middle because Laka's confidence is just shot at the moment. But I think that's the way it is. I think Aubameyang, hopefully, scoring a goal from open play, which is always nice.
After more than 5 hours for Arsenal, that's terrible. It's terrible.
This is like the biggest dip in his career. Let's hope after this, it gives him a bit more, ignites him a bit more. I just think Saka, if anything's going to happen, it will come through Saka.
Yeah. Like it always does.
Yeah, I think he's the best player we've got at the moment. He's that player that you can pass the ball to and you genuinely think something's going to happen. And we haven't got many of those players anymore.
Sorry, Joe. Let me come in quickly. Sorry, mate. I'm going to come back to you. I'm glad you brought up Saka because I'm sure you guys saw it on. I think he posted it on his Twitter actually after the game the other night. It was a picture of him sat on the turf, and he just I think he was apologising to the Arsenal fans.
Yeah, with his head down.
And I saw that, and I just thought to myself, even he's probably thinking, even at the tender age of 19, look what's around me. I'm playing week in, week out. I'm trying, and it's not good enough still. Like to me, that didn't sit well with me, man. Like, and I'm saying that in a way, I'm not criticizing Saka. I'm on his side to say I don't want to see things like that, man. And you've got I think Ryan made the point earlier about Gabriel came out an hour, I think it was an hour after the game, and apologized. We're still waiting for Xhaka's apology from Crystal Palace last season.
But let's be real though. Saka came out and apologised, and he don't even need to apologise.
Yeah,
he's apologised, even though he was the player that's given us 110% all season. And you look at Gabriel, he made a mistake, but he'll learn from that. And they're two young players, the two youngest players that have come out and they've apologised. Yet you've got Willian and David Luiz acting like kids. It's embarrassing.
Yeah. I want to read that. So I want to RJ, my guy, man. Guys, go and check out Rohan's channel, man. He's finally come onto YouTube a few months ago. The guy, one I would say, I'm going to big him up. He knows I'm going to big him up. Like, he's one of the younger generation Arsenal fans that talk so articulately, so well, and not get caught up in the social media hype. And he does some brilliant vlogs and threads about players and systems. So, guys, go and check him out, man. I'm going to read out his comment. Pepe is too isolated in games, in my opinion. I understand all of your points, but because we utilize the left a lot more, he has nobody within close proximity to combine with. Just my thoughts. Now, fair point, Rowan. The only thing I would say about Nicolas Pepe is he obviously got sent off against Leeds, so he missed 3 Premier League games. I was expecting to see. I know the team's not playing well. I understand that, boys, but we're not playing well. We need a bright spark. We need something. And what I saw against Southampton, to me, it flattered to deceive. And no, Rowan, I'll take your point. I think that's what I think if it's a good point, because if we're not using both sides of the pitch in terms of getting down the flanks, or we're using one side of the pitch more in particular, then why would you not start Pepe on the left? You've got Tierney and Saka sort of that operate that side of the pitch. To me, play to your strengths. I said, I think Pepe's wasted on the right. If he was a 2-footed player, no problem. Stick him on the right, not a problem. If he's prepared to use his right foot more, then play him on the right. I don't have a problem. But to me, it doesn't suit him. It doesn't suit him at all. But so go on, John. Sorry, mate. Go on.
At least mix it up. I think that's the thing. Players know exactly what they're playing against when they turn up. They know Pepe's going to be on the right with their left foot. They know Saka's going to be on the left. So at least try some different stuff. I think that's the thing with Arteta.
Good shout, DWTT, man. Big up to you guys in the chat, man. Absolutely. It says something about the character and the mentality of this squad of players, that you have the likes of the youngsters having to come out and apologize. I mean, I want to get you guys' thoughts quickly on. So Ryan, let me come to your point. Sorry, what's your thoughts on the front three before I come to the point I was going to raise afterwards? What's your thoughts, mate?
I pretty much agree with it. I mean, I don't really want to see Willian play. If he plays, he needs to just come on the last 20 minutes of the game. That's it. Be a sub for Pepe. But I mean, going back to your point about Pepe on the left, I've seen it. What game was it? I think it was the Leeds game before he got sent off, and he kept cutting back. No, it was either Leeds or Rapid Vienna in the Europa League away, because he kept cutting back. No, I think it was Rapid Vienna actually. It was wearing blue. He kept cutting back on. He was on his left, and he just kept cutting back. He kept cutting back onto it. Like, he could have literally crossed it with his right. He didn't do it. He just kept cutting back onto his left. He's not comfortable on his right foot, and I think with Pepe's game, he's so used to cutting in a little bit of it, like an Iron Robin, for example. It's like he's one-footed, and this is the problem with Pepe. He's so limited to one foot, because all he's going to do, everyone knows what Pepe's going to do. They worked him out. He's just going to go to the line, do a bunch of skill, and try cut in. Like, for example, I'll give you 2 examples where it's pros and cons. The pro, where you look at the Old Trafford game, when Willian hit the shot, and I think he either hit the crossbar or went over. Yeah. Right? And a lot of us were thinking, if Pepe was on that, he probably would have scored that. Yeah. Right? And then the con, the Europa League game against Olympiacos last season. We had about 2-3 men, and he just razzle dazzle, bare skills all in the corner. I'm thinking, bruv, we need to score right now, or we're out. Do you know what I mean? And I feel it's just the problem with Pepe. He's just so one-dimensional, and we're kind of stuck. If I'm honest, I mean, I said to you guys before, if I had the chance to get rid of him, I would. Honestly, I've always felt we missed the boat with Wilfred Zaha. Personally, instead of getting Pepe, but I don't know. But if I really had to choose, because we know Ballard's not going to get a go, so it's definitely Saka, Aubameyang, and Pepe.
Depressing, man. It is.
It is.
But yeah, sorry. Before I come on, sorry, mate. Before I come on to my next subject, I'm gonna touch on. Here we go. Yeah, guys, I want to talk about quickly about Aubameyang quickly. I don't spend too long on him. I wanted to raise a point with you guys in the sense that we didn't see this guy do any sort of media commitments after the recent Premier League games, and he came out obviously the other night, finally against Southampton. What did you make of that? I'm going to come to Ryan first, and I'll give you a bit of context on that before you answer. When people talk about captains and leaders, I've never been the one that, you have to be someone that shouts and screams and whoop hollers. Listen, there are different types of captain. Let me get that out there straight away, right? But for me, irrespective of confidence or lack of confidence or the team's not playing well, come out and front up. Come out to the media and front up after the games. I don't want to see Willock there, no disrespect. I don't want to see Saka apologising or Gabriel. Come out and front up. So he comes out against Southampton after the game, coincidentally after he scored. What did you make of him? And what did you make of him coming out to the press? And I don't know if you remember the press conference. What did you make of what he said? Right, coming to Ryan first.
I can't remember what he said word for word, but in terms of just coming out anyways, I felt like he should have just come. He needed to come out anyways, because a lot of the Arsenal fans on Twitter, myself included as well, were kind of hounding him like, dude, you're the captain. But this goes back to the point of what you just said about what's your ideal captain. I think for all of us, we have our own definition of what a captain means or what he does. And again, we've all grew up with Tony Adams and Patrick Vieira, those type of leaders. And Aubameyang now, you've been trusted with this captaincy, which we've seen being disrespected, since probably Patrick Vieira last had it. Let's be real. No disrespect on Thierry Henry, but he wasn't really, and he really led by example in terms of scoring goals. And I think that's the kind of similarity to Aubameyang. But the difference is Henry had that mentality. Aubameyang is a bit of a waver. He kind of goes with the wind a little bit. And I felt, and that's no disrespect.
Russ has gone in there, boy.
Boy, that's left me tongue-tied, that one.
It's thrown you a bit.
It kind of is, No, the reason why, because like you said,
I hear that. I hear it.
Coming out? Why Saka? Why is Willock? Gabriel? Even Kieran Tierney, who personally I feel should be the captain. He's only been here 2 seasons.
Future
captain. You know
captain.
what I mean? And it's like I see a lot of leadership skills in these lot than Aubameyang, but we know Aubameyang has not got the quality to be a captain. He's the one you want. He's your talisman. He's your star player. Do you know what I'm saying? He really should be the captain. It should be someone else. He's got that in them. So for me, Aubameyang had to do it. If he didn't, more fans would have got onto him. And I felt he was kind of more pushed into coming out and saying something. Because imagine if we got to Chelsea, forget Everton, forget Southampton, forget even the Man City Cup game. Imagine if we got to Chelsea and fingers crossed we don't get embarrassed. If we did get embarrassed and lost badly, and he didn't show up for that, then what? It's going to be even worse. So, good. I think it's just he had a point. So that's all.
No, good shout, man. Russ, I understand. People will look at that and think it's harsh, but I tell you why. I'm gonna kind of back up what you're saying. Joe, I'm gonna come to you. I'm gonna come to you in 2 secs, mate. Because one thing I remember Aubameyang saying after that game, if you remember it, right? He said that he likes to do his talking on the pitch. And I thought to myself, are you serious? Have you seen the way you've been playing? The way the team's been playing? What the reason why you haven't come out is because you want to do your talking on the pitch, which I commend if that's what if you're putting in the performance to back it up, but you're not. So yeah, Joel, let me come to you, mate. What do you make of that? Sorry, mate.
Well, it's pretty hard.
Russ said he's a coward, mate.
Oh yeah, good old Russ. It's pretty hard to ignore, to be honest, because when you look at, say, the past 3-4 games, is it? Prior to that. Sorry?
More, you know. I'm not gonna lie, maybe more.
Yeah. I'd probably the ones
onwards.
Probably the ones that I bothered to watch to the end, to be honest. But, yeah. You kind of look at them and you see, the youngsters have come out.
Yeah.
And that's the annoying thing. It was obvious Aubameyang was going to come out at the end of this one. He didn't come out after any game that we've lost. And then he comes out the game, we got a point, scored a goal. And it's almost like it's okay, I'm here to take the credit. And that's kind of the attitude that came with it.
Yeah, spot on.
And to me, at the end of that game, I'd have let Saka come out. And they could have turned around and gone, do you know what game you've had? Because
100%.
They're the games that the kids need a boost. They put the hard work in, they should get the credit. If it weren't for Saka having the balls to make that run and make something happen, the goal wouldn't have happened. So, 100%. In regards to captain, I think you're right. I think Tierney's got it written all over him for the future. The way he's got that sort of Tony Adams attitude where he does bark at that back line and you think for his age and people listen to him. Yeah. And hats off to him. I think, he's made mistakes, but he's learning. Aubameyang should be banging him in now. He's how old now? 30...
31, 32. Is he 31? Is he 31? Yeah.
31. You think, if he's the one that's going to lead by example, like we're talking about Thierry Henry, he's got a long way to go. Thierry Henry, he didn't even have to come and talk at the end because he backed it up in the game. Yeah. And he left it to Vieira to go out and do whatever he wanted to say.
100%.
So, I think the team have got a long, long way to go before they start coming out like saying, "Oh, we'll do our talking on the pitch." If we had won that game 3 or 4-0, go and waffle that sort of stuff. But you can't until you've won games like that.
Yeah, come in, Ryan, mate. Come in.
One more quick point. There's games I've seen, like even the last game we played. I see Rob Holden shouting at the players and telling them to come on, and clapping his hands. I see Tierney doing that. We get on Rob Holden a lot, but I see Tierney doing that in games as well. And I see more leadership in Holden and Tierney. Guys that, barring Tierney, we talk about Holden, he's not good enough to be here and play at this level. But I'm seeing more leadership in him. What's going on? Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? Even Mustafi, for crying out loud. That's scary to say. And I don't like Mustafi. I want him gone. Right? But I'm seeing Mustafi trying to pick people up. Even if he's no. When he makes a mistake, that's a different story. But if someone else makes a mistake, he's trying to cheer everyone on, like, come on, pick your heads up, Do you know what I mean? Why are we seeing that for people who don't need to be at this club anymore? You're the guy, the big money re-signing, right? Let's get that in. That a lot of people wanted to stay. There were a few people that are saying, no, we should let him go and reinvest in the team. And to be honest, for a few games, it was kind of looking like, should we have taken an option? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's crazy to say that, but he's not doing enough. And like you said, it's ironic how you score the equalizer, then come out and we'll talk. Come on. Go on.
No, it's all right. No, just go on, Joel. Go on, mate.
Just to back up your point, Ryan, about Holding, apparently he's made more clearances than any other defender at Arsenal.
Wow, speaks volumes, mate.
And let's have a look. The other day, he took that header on, and he was unlucky not to score. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
That was a cracking header from that far out to get it even that close to the target. There was some Burke on another channel, I won't name them because I don't deserve it, that came out and said, "Oh, if that was David Luiz, it would have gone in." Let's be real here. You know, he gave it his best chance, and it just didn't work. It wasn't going to be our day that day. We were lucky to come away with a point. So let's hope we can move on.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna come to your score predictions. I'll come to them at the end, so I have a think about it. Because I'm gonna touch on something. I've had a bit of feedback in terms of I've asked people what to do on my channel. So I featured. We've got 3 good games coming on tomorrow. To be fair, like triple headers. We've got Crystal Palace, Liverpool, Southampton, Man City, and then obviously it follows us away to Everton. But guys, I want to get your views, like score predictions for these other games. So I'm going to give you a little bit of breather away from Arsenal for 2 seconds. So the first game, 12:30 kickoff, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. I've had a think about it. Ryan, what do you think the score is going to be in that game, mate?
I'm glad you went to Ryan first.
It's tough. That's a tough game, you know, because
tough game to call. Very tough game to call.
To be fair, they all are. Really tough. They all are.
But very exciting to watch, also. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, Liverpool away record hasn't really been that great, has it? Do you know what I mean? They've been kind of dropping points a few places here and there. Even one was unjustified. So, but
stick your neck on the line, mate. What are you saying?
I'm gonna go. It's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna say Liverpool 3-2.
Wow. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, just because I know Palace, they can cause trouble in it. So, but 3-2 to Liverpool.
Yeah. Joe, what are you saying, mate?
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
Good shout.
I think Ryan's right. I think Palace can cause you problems, and they seem to like it at home.
They should. Palace should like. I know Roy Hodgson. People have their thoughts about Roy Hodgson as a coach, how he sets teams up, but he's got players to hurt teams in the league this season. Man, not to talk about tomorrow's game. You got my guy who I love to pieces, Zaberi Eze. You've got Zaha there. You've got Benteke. Has all the makings of a good striker. It just hasn't worked out for him in the Premier League over the years. You've got Townsend that can come on the pitch. Like you've got players that can hurt, like Jeffrey Sloop. You've got players that can hurt you. Yeah. So if you push me on it, I'm gonna go for. I think Liverpool might sneak it, even with the injuries they've got. I'm gonna go 2-1 Liverpool. The next game, I'm actually looking forward to watching this game. Actually, it is drum roll. Southampton versus Man City. I'm gonna come to my guy Joel first. What are you saying, mate?
Oh, thanks, mate.
Tough one, innit? It's gonna be a good game, though, mate. It's gonna be a very good game.
I was gonna say, to be honest, all the games tomorrow are tough games to call. To be perfectly honest, which you know, thanks for starting it today, Albert. No, that could even be a 1-1. I think, to be fair, Man City, they've been sneaking games. They haven't been.
Yeah, it's defensively, mate. I know they've got Diaz. I think Diaz would be a good signing for them, to be fair. But something's missing for them. I don't know what it is. Something's just missing.
As mad as it was the other day, to watch some of how Southampton played, they actually looked quite smart against us. Yeah. And I think if Ings gets the chance, he'll put it in the net.
Yeah.
So I can even go for a Southampton win, you know. I've got still 1-1.
1-1. I think it's a good shout because I think Southampton. You know what? I mean, I remember the 2 games in particular. They obviously they they got turned over by Tottenham in the end at St Mary's, but they really should have. I thought it was over Spurs in the beginning, in the first half. I don't know what happened in the second half, and the same thing when they play Man United at home, Southampton 2-0 up, end up losing the game. Like they've got. I mean, Che Adams has taken a long time to settle in at Southampton, but physical guy. You've got Ings and that plays on the shoulder. You've got Walcott plays on the shoulder. Ward-Prowse was exceptional. I thought the other night against us. One touch, two touch play. Yeah, Romeo, who started off at Chelsea. I mean, if you look at a player back then to now, wow, like there's a complete chalk and cheese, man. Before I come to Ryan, I'm gonna go for Southampton 2-1.
Yeah, that Walcott's a good player, you know.
Yeah, I'm going Southampton 2-1. What are you saying, Ryan, mate?
Should have scouted him, innit? Oh, mate.
It's a good. We've got some good games tomorrow, man. Good games tomorrow.
It's some really, really good games, man. It's tasty fixtures. I mean, all games are tough to call. I mean, like you said, with the Tottenham game, Southampton should have dealt with Tottenham, but Tottenham do Tottenham things, you know what I mean? And you know Jose as it is, he'll sit, and then when it's time to kill. Man United, they're on the same thing as well. They got this comeback king mentality thing as well.
Yeah.
But Man City now, I mean,
go on, bro.
They haven't really been looking great. So for me, I'm gonna go 2-2. I'm gonna be safe.
Okay, that's right. This game, actually, this the last game I'm going to talk about before I come to Arsenal again. I actually find it quite difficult to come up with a winner, but here we go, guys. Newcastle are at home to Fulham. Fulham have picked up a bit of confidence in the last few games. Newcastle, you do not know what you're going to get. If they're one set of football fans I actually feel sorry for in terms of ownership and just the football they have to watch sometimes. Because the thing is with Newcastle, like, forget Steve Bruce, because people know what kind of coach he is in terms of how he sets teams up, but they've got players to do a lot better attacking wise than they do. I mean, there's some games I've watched them where they've had no shot at goal.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get a result by not having any attacking intent? So, yeah, what are you saying? I'm going to go first here. I'm going to say, I actually think it'll be a draw. I just think, I know Fulham have picked it up in terms of a bit more confidence. They look a bit more like they could beat. They look more dangerous. Newcastle, like I said, you never know what you're going to get with them. But I could actually see it being a 0-0, believe it or not. I think it'd be 0-0. Ryan, what are you saying, man? Come to you.
Newcastle 3-1.
3. Wow. You think they're going to score 3? Jesus Christ, man. I hope Callum Wilson's playing tomorrow because I don't know where to get their goals from. But a big shout, man. Joe, what are you saying, mate? I'm not sure what's happening with him, mate, to be honest. Go on, Joe, what are you saying, mate?
Do you know what? I'm going to go the other way. I think Newcastle are going to be licking their wounds a bit, aren't they? Because they got slapped by Leeds.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. I'm going Fulham 1. I love seeing Newcastle play. Fulham 1-0.
Okay, very different squad. Okay,
I think I don't know if Newcastle are going to. That's quite a quick turnaround to pick yourself up after getting that sort of result against you, really. Especially when Leeds came in and they're the ones that leak goals more than anyone, and to score 5 against you, that's serious. So I think Fulham, it might be one of those tense games where Fulham nick it.
Yeah, I could see either team nicking it. But I you know what? It wouldn't surprise if that game finishes 0-0 tomorrow.
Yeah, I think it'll be boring as anything.
Yeah.
I think it'll be really boring.
Yeah. I thought that about Fulham Brighton in the week. I thought that'd be a draw, and it was. It's 0-0.
You know.
But guys, big shout out to Arsenal Ross, my duo, the other half of my duo, man. Guys, go and subscribe to Arsenal Ross, man. My guy, man. Guy knows his ball, man. Knows he does a lot of transfer work. I call him the Instagram king, and I know he's laughing when me saying that, man. This guy's active, man, active. But Rohan and Shaq, guys, Che hasn't got yet coming weeks. Honestly, so underrated. He can drop deep, hold the ball up, and bring other players into play, and in similar kind of way to Kane, and he's scored a few. Yeah, you know what? I thought he played well the other night against Arsenal. I think because he's a physical guy, man. That's why I thought Gabriel would have learned his lessons not to get too touch tight, and then he obviously put himself in trouble. But guys, we're going to come back to our beloved Arsenal. Newcastle will win, I reckon. Russ is going for Newcastle. Russ, get your bets in, mate. Go down the bookie shop, mate, tomorrow or tonight, mate. Whatever's best for you.
He's wrong.
Bets 365. Come on.
But guys, we're going to finish up with we're going to. No, there are other betting shots available. So, but yeah, I've seen some things. You guys are active on social media, right? And I don't really get sections of our fan base, you know. And when I say that, I'm talking about when we're having a nightmare season that we're having. And then I'll see some guy put out something. It might have been one on the Facebook groups talking about Wenger, and people didn't sort of respect Wenger for getting top four. And I thought that narrative to me is completely wrong. Completely wrong. Because what I would say is that when I see things like that, boys, right, is Wenger's last two seasons at Arsenal. You know where we finish in the league, right? 5th and 6th. 5th, 6th, 5th, 8th, and currently 15th for Arsenal's last 4 league positions before that. So don't try and make this seem like this is a thing of people are underappreciating Arsene Wenger's time at Arsenal, because let's have it right. We knew what it was towards the back end of his Arsenal reign, and it wasn't very good. The football wasn't brilliant. It was terrible. The football's terrible now, but the football was terrible in Wenger's last few years. It was awful to watch. We wasn't a good team to watch. We used to be. Whether other fans of other football clubs want to admit it or not, good luck to them. But we probably secretly was their second favorite team to watch in terms of how good the football was. But even under Wenger, that completely disappeared off the face of the earth. So for some of these Arsenal fans that want to say things to suit their narrative, keep doing it. But in the long run, really, it's not really beneficial to the club, is it? It's not beneficial to you as a fan to turn and say things like that. This is not a thing of bring back Wenger or remember what he did in the past. Yes, Wenger's fantastic in his first tenure at Arsenal, but let's have it right towards the back end. And he's culpable, just like Gazidis and the rest of the crew needs, whether it's Lord Harris of Peckham or what's the other guys, Sir Chips Keswick. These guys are all culpable, mate. They're all culpable, all of them. When people say things like that, it does kind of get on my nerves, man.
We're still recovering from some of these massive deals and stuff that were made. Yeah. You know, that shouldn't have happened. Yeah. But you know, that happened. We've got to get on with it, and we've got to focus on the team that's out on the pitch now. Yeah. You know, this is the thing. It's all right living on past glories and stuff like that. I want to see Arsenal playing great football now. Yeah. You know,
100%, spot on, mate. Yeah, when I see things like that, Joe and Ryan on Twitter, I just think like you guys are part of the problem, man. Because if you're gonna start posting shit like that, I just think, you know what, grow up, man. Seriously.
Yeah, but they're not real fans, are they, Albert? That's the thing.
Get with the game, innit? Get with the game. Get with the game, honestly. But guys, predictions for tomorrow. I'm gonna start.
Good.
Yeah.
My head tells me that we'll get a draw 1-1, but my heart's telling me we'll lose 2-1.
So what are you going with then?
I think Everton will nick it, mate. 2-1. Yeah, I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin's aerial ability is insane.
Great player.
And if they get the right service into the box. Yeah, I can see it happening, man. I know they've got. I know Allen's out injured tomorrow, but Dominic Calvert-Lewin's on form. Whoever we play in the back.
Apparently, James Rodriguez is still recovering.
They're saying he had a calf injury, didn't they? I just said that
he's still recovering from it. So, but then it's an Arsenal game, so he'll play, won't he?
Exactly.
So Ryan, I'm going to come to you, mate. What do you think the score prediction is going to be, mate, for tomorrow?
Oh, it's going to be an L. I think it's going to be L. I think we're going to lose probably about 2-0. And I think it's going to be, I'm going with the Calvert-Lewin double. Actually, no. I will actually say, no, I will, because Richarlison's too inconsistent. He'll look like he'll do wonders in one game, and next game he'll just go quiet.
And he'll probably come up against Bellerin, to be fair, if he plays.
Now you're making me feel like I should put an extra goal on. Good Lord. I didn't even think about that. But no, honestly, I don't think no matter that Everton team is well functioned compared to our team. The morale is low compared to theirs. They're a bit up and down, but their back-to-back wins, they're going to be on a high. They're going to be on a high. There's no way. And I reckon that Goodison in the last few seasons hasn't been great, has it? So,
no.
I don't know. I think we're going to go 2-0.
Okay. Joe, what are you saying, mate? Remember, Everton have only beaten Arsenal twice in 12 attempts.
Yeah, but let's look at all the other statistics this season. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We're record breaking at the wrong end, didn't we?
Yeah, 100%.
In my opinion, I'm going with my bro. I'm going with Albert.
What, 2-1 to Everton?
Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. The same as you guys. You know what I mean? I want Arsenal to win every single game, but that's in my heart. That's I can't ever go against my boys. But when you see Bellerin, you just think, "Fuck's sake," you know. But I think it'll be 2-1, and I think Calvert-Lewin will give us an absolute hell, even though he looks like Theo Walcott.
He does a little. He does. This is bad. Someone said that. Guys in the chat. Yeah, sorry, guys in the chat. Thank you for your comments and your questions and your laughs, and it's been fantastic. Thanks for the interaction. It's been brilliant. We're going to come to an end soon. I'm going to ask the guys one more thing. I want to quickly touch on January transfer window.
Oh no.
And I'm not even going to talk about, whether Arteta is going to be here or not, because we could be here all day, but I'm going to sort of move it away from that. Do you think Arsenal will make any signings? And if they do, where do you think it will be? And who would you like to come in? I'm going to start with... It's a bit of a loaded question, but I'm going to start with you, Ryan, mate.
I'm thinking about who you can get out.
And take into account, you do have to take into account, Arsenal in January transfer windows have not been, how can I put it nicely, proactive.
No.
Do you think we'll make any signings? Honestly.
Yeah, maybe 2. That's about it.
Cool, you're more confident. You're more confident than I am.
You think we're going to make 2?
I said maybe 2. The key word is maybe. I said maybe.
Yeah,
but one's still valid. You got to remember that.
Ryan, if we do make any,
one of those the manager. That's why.
Ryan, if we do make any, who would you like? Who would you like to see come in?
Mighty meteorite.
The guy we've been talking about from Norwich. We need something in there, man. That creativity. Ebby Bermuda. We need him.
Benduer. Okay.
Benduer. Yeah, I've been saying him to get him in the summer, but if he is, isn't it? And oh man, it's so annoying because I personally feel like we need another midfielder that will come in and complement Thomas Partey, but I don't know who that be. Do you know what I'm saying? That's why I don't know. I'm not too sure on that one.
Can I chuck something in?
Go on, Joe. Go on, bring you in, Joe. Go on, mate. Go on.
Do you? And this is to both of you. Do you think Ozil will be playing again as of January?
Yes.
No.
Because if he is, that's where we won't get anyone in midfield.
Right.
In my opinion.
I hear you on that.
I
I
don't
do
think
think
he'll
he'll
come.
come in.
I don't think he'll come in. I think he's done. I think it's done. I think it's done. It's done.
You think it's done, yeah?
Yeah.
I know Arsenal, they just U-turn so many times. That's why I'm saying I think he'll come back in.
I would be
If they
Ryan.
don't
I'd
get
be
players, then they'll bring him back in. Watch.
Ryan. I would be genuinely gobsmacked if the way the rumors, whether you believe them or not, about the players, or I would be very, very surprised if come January Ozil's back in this setup. I'll be very, very surprised.
I think
He
Albert
will be, man.
will quit YouTube again.
No, I won't do that. But I'll be very surprised, mate. No, I would be, Joe. I'll be very surprised if that happens, mate.
Yeah. No, I just thought I'd ask.
I think if Arsenal did that, right? Wow.
It surprised me. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't. Honestly, I'm sorry. It's Arsenal, innit? We just do the dumbest thing.
There's one player that's been touted about for a while. I mean, we all know about the rumors about Dominic Szoboszlai, right? That he's, £25 million release clause. I think he's got till the end of December for clubs have still got a time to actually make a bid for him, because apparently he's not made his mind up where he's going to go. The talk was RB Leipzig, wasn't it?
I thought it was a done deal.
I saw that tweet from Fabrizio Romano. I think it was definitely this week. I was on Arsenal Ross's channel where he said that he still hasn't sort of made up his mind yet. But if you gave me Szoboszlai, just playing devil's advocate, Szoboszlai and Christian Eriksen in January, I'd be slightly more positive.
I'll take Christian Eriksen.
You would?
Yeah. A swap for Jack.
I don't know, man.
I'll take Christian Eriksen.
I know a lot of people that wouldn't. I understand it, because obviously he's sort of he has some good. He did have some very good numbers for Spurs. I'll give him his due. I think people just don't know why he seems to have fallen off a cliff from when he left Spurs to join in the Milan. He's only 28. He's not over the hill.
There was talk of a potential swap deal with Xhaka, wasn't there?
Yeah.
I'd bite their bloody hand off.
Yes, I would. I'd take anyone for sure.
No lie. And I think you ask any Arsenal fan at the moment, and these are the ones that were like Xhaka fanboys. The ones that really loved him.
Oh God!
They'd turn around and say, "Time's up." That I think he's overdone it.
Yeah.
Guendouzi did one thing. Don't get me wrong. He grabbed someone around and shouted about his pay packet,
and he's been exiled. Yeah.
And yet Xhaka's done it time and time again, and he's still looked at as almost like a captain-like figure. What you got to do?
It is unbelievable, man. It is.
Personally, I can't see us. I think we'll get one person in January. I think the biggest thing is offloading, and I can't see us. I think people are going to hang on to the pay packets until the end of the.
Joe, you make a good point. I think the pain's going to continue in terms of the players that we know are leaving the club. We're going to have to suck it in. We have to suck it up, mate, to the end of the season, mate. Guys, this guy is almost a year in charge this Sunday, I believe it is. And ironic it is that we're going back to Everton, where he was sitting in the stands, because he's going to be taken over as Arsenal's new head coach at the time. Almost a year. What a year it has been. But guys, I want to say a big thank you to the guys in the chat. We've come to the end of the match preview. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate the questions. My amazing guests that have joined me today. I'm going to start with Joel. Thank you for coming on, mate. And where can the guys find you?
Oh, I'm always hiding on Twitter. Mr. G86. I'm always lurking, but thanks for having me on, Albert. It's always a pleasure, mate.
No, I appreciate the love, man. Appreciate you coming on. Absolutely, guys. Go and follow Joe, man. Mr. Positivity, man. Put a smile on your face, mate. Mr. R. Wills. Where can the guys find you to subscribe to your channel, mate?
Well, guys, thanks again for having me on. It was nice meeting you, Joel. Always a pleasure. Twitter is there at RJ Wills, and YouTube is there, Ryan Williams AFC. More uploads this week, guys. Check me out.
Yeah, guys, go and support my bros, man. My Arsenal community. We need to stick together. Tough times, but unfortunately, this is the life of a football fan. Go and speak to Newcastle fans. They'll tell you. Trust me. Guys, as you know, Albert J TV. You know what to do. And my Twitter handle is on the screen, as you can see it, AUMO57. Make sure you go and follow me and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Yeah, guys, that is me, Albert JTV, over and out. Hashtag Everton versus Arsenal.